Alright guys, welcome to the Python basics third part of this session. So on the first part we have covered um, fundamental data type, which is comment, simple number, variable assignment, string, list, dictionaries, booleans, tuples, and set. On the second part, we have covered comparison operator, logical operator, if, elif, and else statement, for loops, while loops, range function, and list comprehensions. So in this session, we are going to cover function, lambda expressions, map and filter, and various useful methods. I strongly recommend, if you guys have not gone through my first and second session, please go through it before we start these sessions. Let's quickly jump into this session and start. Okay, let's start with the first one, function. So here we are going to learn how can we create our own function in Python. So to create your own function, you will start with the keyword def. Okay, so write def, and then everything will be lowercase. Let's say my fun, and then you put closing parenthesis, close parenthesis, and then colon. So now you need to put the block of code that you want to run. Okay, let's say instead of running a block of codes again and again, so you just write a function. Okay, so the block of codes, so let's say we want to execute here. Let's say put print print hello. Okay, so this is the function we put it here, and now if you uh, run if you run if you call my phone, so my phone, so if you execute that, you will get output as hello. So this is how you write a function. This is a basic in function. So here you can also add some argument or parameters. So let's say write another function def, then my func. So let's say we can put an argument here or parameter. Let's say put argument arg. So then you put as colon and then enter. Here print arg. Okay, arg. Alright, so that is function. Now this is the function of it. So we'll put my func. So if you run this, you will get an error because you have not mentioned anything here. So you get this error because my func missing one record positional argument arg. So what you need to do, you can just put a positional argument here. So probably you can write, let's say, umesh. So and then you run it. Sorry, you put an argument here. So you get as umesh. So this is how you need to write, or this is how you need to add an argument or parameter to a function. Now we can also add some default value uh, to our parameters, right? Now let's say we can give a default value, let's say r, okay, equal to, let's say put default. All right, so you, correct. So let's say we adding a default value um, to our parameters here. uh, so let's run this. So let's run this. So this is our function. Now if you run this one, so you will get the output UMass, because this one override your default value here. But if you remove this, so then you will get the default one. Okay, now if you run this, you will get default. So this is how you can add default value for parameters. Another thing we can add to this function is documentation string. So generally documentation string can be added after the colon here. So here, if you put here, so you just put 3 times and then you give a white space. So here you can put docs string goes here. Okay, docs string goes here. So this is the documentation string. Now if you put like this, and then if you go to function, you put a shift tab, you will get your so you just run this one, and then if you go to here, shift tab, and then now you can see the docstring is docstring goes here, and then type is function, all details you will get it here. So if you run this, you will get the default one here. And let's say instead of print, you can also put let's say we can put a number or something like that. So you can do argument default, and here also we can say argument. Okay, so instead of print, we can also sometimes write return. Okay, so return, and this one is return, let's say return, and then argument and then let's say you want to do times 2, for example, right? So and then here you want to say uh, x equal to, let's say example 3, and then so first on this, and then run this, and then put, let's say print x. So what will happen, it will give 6 as your output. X equal to 3, or x equal to, oh sorry, my bad. So here x equal to my my func is 3, relative function. So put that, and now you run that, you will get the output as 6. So this is how you can add a documentation string, and also you put argument with multiplied with the things. Okay, now let's quickly move to lambda expression. So lambda expression known as anonymous function, and what it allows you to do is quickly create a function to use one time that has no name. So first let's start or create a function, and then I will show you how to create an anonymous lambda expression. Okay, so let's create a function first, which will start from the keyword def. As you know, let's say def, and then my fun, say put a variable as var, and then colon. So then put return variable and multiply with 2 times 2. So if you run this function, this is a function we have written. So now let's say put my result equal to my func, and the variable I'm giving is, let's say, 4. So if I run result, then I will get the output as 8. So if I run this, I'll get a output as 8. So this is how we have already known the simple how to write a function. Now we have to convert this function into a lambda expression. So the lambda expression is start with the keyword lambda. So lambda, support lambda variable. So put the keyword lambda and then the variable. So colon here into 2. So this is the lambda expression that we replace with this function. So instead of writing this function, we can write this lambda expression. Let me tell you how we are converting this function into lambda. So first, as you know, this will be no more a function. So first we will remove this keyword def, and then instead of that we are converting into lambda, so we will put the keyword lambda, and then we have to remove this function. So we will keep only the variable and then colon. So instead of return, okay, as we are not going to get return, so instead of return we are removing this return and keeping only what we are going to get after running that. So we'll keep this one. So this is your lambda expression. So this is how you need to convert from a function to a lambda expression. Okay, let's now move on to mapping and filter. So first one is map. So I'm going to show you how we can put map function into my function and lambda expression as well. So let's say we'll start with a sequence 1 2 3 4. So 1 2 3 4 or 5, let's say this is a sequence, do you know, and then we'll put map. So remember, map is start with the keyword map, and then we had a function here is my fun, which is a times 2. So what you need to do, we will write that function my fun and then put the sequence. So if you run this, right, you'll get a error, and it's saying it's objective error. So what you need to do, you just need a list. So put list here and here. So you once you run that, you'll get 2 4 6 8 10. So this output is times 2 of the sequence number, because this my function what we have written here is nothing but your times 2. So what you need to do, instead of this function, we can replace this with lambda expression. So if you remember, we have replaced this uh, function with this lambda expression. Now what you need to do, instead of this one, we can write here the lambda expression that we have already built. So we can write lambda for semicolon for multiply 2. Now if you run this piece of code, you will get the same result, 2 4 6 8 10. And this variable var, you can also change this variable to any other variable. Let's say you can say num. Okay, you can put num here. Now if you run this code, you will also get the same result. So this is how you use map. Okay, let's quickly discuss about filter. So same as map, but then there is a little bit different. So if you say filter and if you put shift tab, then you can see it's a filter function or non-iterable or then filter object. Okay, so the difference is here. You just need to filter it out if you want to filter it out something from a sequence. Let's take a look. First let's start with a function. Let's write a function here. Df is even, let's say, and then num and colon return num to equal to 0. So what exactly we're writing the function here is, we're saying is all the even number. So what we know, any number, if you are dividing that with 2 and the remainder is 0, that means that number is an even number. That's what we are writing the function here. So now run this function. Now let's say put filter, then the function name is even. okay, and then put sequence. So if you run this, you get an error with object. So if you want to see that, if you want to see the number sequence, you just put here, say list equal list, and you run this, you can see the sequence here 2 and 4. So our sequence was 1 2 3 4 5. Out of these 5 number, only 2 and 4 are even number, which we are getting here as an output. Now we can also replace this is even function with a lambda expression. Okay, so let's write the lambda expression here. So as we know, we need to remove this and replace with lambda, and then we will remove this function name and keep the variable here, and then you need to remove that. So whatever the output, you will just only keep that. So this is your lambda expression. Now if you change this function and replace with the lambda expression, and now run this code, we'll get the same result 2 and 4. Now let's run it. See, the output is only 2 and 4. So you can write a function or you can write a lambda expression. The output will be the same. But this is a one-liner code. So sometimes it looks crazy, but this is the beauty of Python, and you can learn more and more when you will go inside the course. Let's move on to the next one, which is method. So let's start with string method. Alright, now so string method, so let's start with a string st equal to, let's say, hello, my name is Eunice. So this is our string, and let's say if I want to change everything, all the words here into all the letters into string, I mean so into lowercase. So what I'll do, so st dot lower, so and then run it, you'll get everything into lowercase. Similarly, if you want everything into uppercase, so you just put upper here and run it, you will get everything into uppercase. Now let's talk about dot split method. Now split can be done on particular space or character. So let's say write a string here as address, and so just come to, let's say, this string address equal to number 2 Park State, let's say India. Okay, so like that. Let's say this is a string, so you want to split. So let's say this is a string, so what you need to do, just put the string variable dot split, and then you run it. So what it will do, it will by default it will split on every blank space or white space, right? So number 2, park, street, and India. So these are the words that is there in this string. So it's split by default, split by white space. So you can also split wherever you want, like let's say if you want to do and also you can do indexing. So let's do it like that. So address dot split, and you want to split from here, let's say from hashtag. So what you do, just put um, hashtag here, so hashtag, and then indexing. So let's say you want to do an indexing here, and the indexing is 1. So if you run this, you'll get India. So oops, uh, sorry, if you put that, now you'll get India. This is how you can use split. In fact, split is really important, and it can be used in a lot of scenario. So other methods are available in string. If you want to know, a lot of methods are there. You can just put the variable here, put dot, and then uh, tab. Then you can get all these methods are available. You can explore all these. All right. So this is string method. So there are there are lots of methods are available here, and you can check one by one if you want, and you can explore. Okay, those are all useful methods for string. So let's talk about a little bit about dictionaries. So if you remember, we have created a dictionary D equal to, we have created a dictionary Q1 and Q2, and these are the value assigned to key. So this is the dictionary we have created, or now we can also create the dictionary. So this is D dictionary. Now, so if you want to know the keys, just put D dot keys and close parenthesis and run it. You will get the dictionary keys, keys 1, key 2. So these are the keys. Now actually these are not giving any items. So if you want to know the actual items, then probably you can put D dot items, then close parenthesis, and then you run it. The moment you run it, you will get all the items or value assigned to keys. So this is a little bit useful uh, regarding to dictionaries. So next we can talk about list. Okay, let's talk about list. Let's create a list first. My list equal to 1, 1, 2, 3. This is my list, let's say. And now I want to add 4 to this list. So as you discussed in my first session, so you need to put dot append. So my list dot append and then 4. So if you run this and you call line list, then you can see 4 has been added to this list. So similarly, if you want to drop any item, then you have to use dot pop. So let's say you want to drop last digit. So my list dot pop and then you run this. So 4 has been uh, removed from this list, and you can also remove from a index level. Like for an index level you can also remove. So let's say you want to remove 1, so which is index 0. So my list um, dot pop then 0, so which is my um, index. And now if you do that, so um, so now 1 has been removed, so 4 has been removed. Now if you call this list, you will get only 2 and 3. So this is how these are some useful methods related to list. So the last thing that I wanted to tell you, how to know an element is present in a list. So let's say this is our list. My list is 2, 3 now, and I want to know whether whether 2 or 1 or 3 is that list or not. So let's say you want to know 1, so just simply write with the keyword 1 in my list. Okay, and remember, it's always, the output is always boolean, true or false. So if you put like that, you get a result of false because 1 is not in this list. Similarly, if you put 2 in uh, my list, okay, then you will get a result of true. So I can also do similarly, let's say alphabet A. So you can check the A in my list. Oops, in my list, you'll get result as false. Um, However, if you uh, uh, um, if you add A into the list, um, and so let's say if you want A into the list, so if you run this now, and if you run this, then you will get as true. So all right, this is all about the Python, basic Python of our third part, which we have already covered. So in the first slide, we have, or the first session, we have covered comment, simple numbers, variable assignment, string, list, dictionaries, boolean, tuple, and set. On the second part, we have covered comparison operator, logical operator, if, elif, or else statement, then for loops, while loops, range function, list comprehension. And in this session, we have covered function, Lambda expression, map and filter, and various useful methods. Alright guys, this is end of the session and Python basic course. Thank you.